mean, imagine that.
Imagine Dragons?
No, imagine AmityCast.
Nobody watches these.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, shout out to our friends for being assholes.
Which one?
What do you think?
Shout out.
Shout out.
Anyway.
Everybody follow Cancer Timmy. They call him a loser. And today's subject, Groundhog Day.
Today is Groundhog Day, a very important holiday that has a lot of impact and weight to everything.
I think the Groundhog Day film is more seminal than the holiday.
Yeah, it's true, and it's the only thing about the holiday. I say that with air quotes. That really matters anymore. And it's a movie that came out like almost 30 years ago.
Was this directed by Ivan Reitman? I mean, not Ivan Reitman. Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis? What are you talking about, bro?
Was it not?
Oh my gosh, dude! Why are you always like this?
I haven't watched this film in years. I loved it when I saw it, but I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah, it was Harold Ramis. He had a lot of good movies. Groundhog Day is it's one of my all-time favorites, I'd say. Definitely not perfect or anything, but I really, really enjoy it to this day. I rewatched it today. Because I rewatch it every February 2nd, obviously. It's just a nice way to remember, this movie that I really enjoy with Bill Murray. It's just really famous for a lot of reasons.
Shit.
This movie's a big part of it. Yeah, it's in my top 100 favorite films. That list is on my Letterboxd at Goat Chico. Go check out my top 100. Yeah. You haven't seen it for a while.
I remember most of it.
It's a great movie. It's a classic comedy. A lot of people know about it. A lot of people know the concept. It's been mimicked for years afterwards. So, yeah, it's pretty great. What do you remember most about it, Matthew?
Well, I just looked it up, and apparently, one of the common questions is how many years he was stuck in Groundhog Day, and apparently in the script it says he was stuck in a time loop for 10,000 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
It says it's an early draft.
What I originally heard was that they always believed that he was in the loop for around a decade. But I don't know how long he was actually in the loop. So.
I mean, I probably haven't seen this film in like 5 years, which was the first time I saw it. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of good comedy. I really like early Bill Murray comedies, like Ghostbusters era. He was a pretty good comedic actor, and what I remember, like everybody else was pretty good too. I just remember like all the things he did when like he figured out he could just do whatever he wants and like repeat stuff over and over was like some really good stuff. And I remember the romance was pretty good too, for like the concept. And a lot of this movie was copied in like the Happy Death Day movies, which those movies just like reminded me of Groundhog Day. And yeah, I remember at the end of the movie they blatantly.
That was the best part of Happy Death Day. It reminded me of Groundhog Day.
Yeah, because I remember at the end they like blatantly reference it, like them just like stating that they're just ripping off Groundhog Day. Like that makes it okay, but
yeah, they did like a cheesy horror film version of Groundhog Day.
Yeah, which is like a neat idea, but this movie did like the concept probably like to the best of its ability. It's a very tight script that gets to the point and tells its story pretty well. I think it's written and directed by Harold Ramis, I think. And Harold Ramis is apparently a screenwriting genius because he also wrote Ghostbusters, which is like almost pretty much a perfect movie. And it's weird because like these concepts are so like they don't sound like they should work, but then they do. And
well, yeah, the crazy thing is you look at like Harold Ramis's filmography and stuff like that. At least the films that he like was the head writer. There's Ghostbusters and Groundhog Day, and then there's like Caddyshack, Stripes, Year One.
Year One. It's like
Ghostbusters 2.
Was Year One like the last thing he did? I feel like.
Let me see.
Has a 14% rating. Oh my god.
Yet Year One was the last film that he wrote and directed.
Oh my god.
What a way to go out.
I think that's like the worst. That's like the worst thing I've heard in a while.
Yeah, it makes me really sad for him, actually. It's kind of like thinking about Wes Craven having to see the last like adaptation of Freddy Krueger be the 2010 remake.
You probably didn't watch it, if we're being honest.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it wasn't the last thing that existed.
He definitely knew about it, but I don't know, I feel like he wouldn't have watched that. He got money from it, and then died 5 years later. Today's... where's Groundhog Day 2? Where's it at? I need a sequel.
I would never want to see a sequel to this movie.
I remember they talked about it for a while, but like I don't know what you would do because like he breaks the loop at the end of spoilers and
yeah,
because like I remember his character was like a complete asshole and like over the course of the movie, you see like very good character development.
And, yeah, I gotta say, here's the thing with Bill Murray. I've noticed that like a lot of people, they some people are like, I hate like serious Bill Murray. I don't like comedic Bill Murray. And I'm like, well, Bill Murray has some incredible dramatic roles. He actually is a really good actor when he's given a script where he can really express all of it. And I think one of my favorite parts about Groundhog Day is how his performance is a great balance of comedy and drama. I think it's done really well, and I think he plays the character perfectly. And like how the situation evolves over time, I think it's really good.
I remember the sequences where it was like, you know, he was doing all these things and like the days were repeating over and over and like there was like a good mix of like genuinely funny stuff that you would do in that situation and like genuine really sad stuff. Like I remember he like beat up his like annoying neighbor or something because he knew the day was just going to restart, and then like at a certain point he got like so depressed about it he was like actively committing suicide and like they like contrast that very well. And
yeah, I think it was really well balanced, and like it's really well paced because as it goes through those moments, they kind of like montage you or whatever, but it all felt like really necessary because that's how you want to see the concept expressed throughout the film. And I remember I really enjoyed that when I was a kid, and on the rewatch, I still really enjoy it as I get older.
Yeah, I don't. One part I don't remember about this movie is how did he like break the thing, like the curse or whatever?
Well, he just finally I don't know. I think he just found the right formula with like the girl throughout the entire movie, and it was like how I think it's just like treating her right or along those lines because he stayed the night with her or whatever, and then they wake up in the house, and then he's like and then it's like the next day, and like he has that realization, which was a good moment. I don't know if they've ever like fully like it's ever been fully explained like what exactly it was, but I know it had something to do with that relationship that he formed. That also had development throughout the film, and like
because they never say why or like how this time loop happened either, which was very smart. Nowadays, if you released a movie like this, people would be saying you need to fucking explain it and like call this movie stupid. And
right, yeah, I think the bit of the ambiguous pieces of the nature of this film I think works really well.
Again, with Happy Death Day, I remember like they didn't like explain the time loop stuff in the first movie, which I kind of liked, and
yeah, then the second one became a freaking sci-fi film.
Yeah, and like the second one, I was like, I guess you made like a logical sense for it, but like I don't like it. And it's like weird because like this college is just like they just like accidentally just make like literally time vortex breaking technology overnight, and they're just like, no, you can't destroy it. We gotta use it. So stupid. That movie's so dumb. I saw the movie twice in theaters. I didn't want to see it twice in theaters. God.
Yeah.
Because my dad wanted to see it like a month after it came out in theaters, so we went to like an empty theater with just like one couple in the theater, and I know full well that entire time that couple was just hoping it was empty so they could probably just have like open oral sex in the theater. But besides that,
at least you affected their night, you know?
Yeah, in an extremely negative way. Not to mention, The Groundhog is amazing in this film. Impeccable acting. That one scene when he's like driving and has like the groundhog on the wheel. That was like, for some reason, that was like the funniest shit I've ever seen as a kid. I don't know why.
Yeah, that
And like
was a great one.
they drive off like a cliff and just like fucking commit suicide because he's like, you're the fucking reason this is happening. So like he just thinks if he kills the groundhog, it'll end or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember there's so many great moments that I really enjoyed throughout the film. And I'm entertained the entire way through. In the beginning, it's like it's kind of like a campy comedy, and it's got a lot of good moments where it's just like leading up to like him being in this town and all that stuff. And then like the first day of the loop, he's all confused, and it's so iconic when he's all like he has no idea what's going on, and everything's happening the exact same. And then as it goes on, as it evolves, I just enjoy it so much. I think it was really well handled. Like I was saying with Bill Murray's performance is like a perfect balance, I think. And another one of my favorite movies is Lost in Translation. That's another one where he's like the starring role, and it's like more dramatic than it is comedic. I do notice that when he does do dramatic stuff, he's kind of typecast as like a lead who's an asshole who has to like and go through a lot of character development. That's just what he does. Like pretty much all of his like serious movies, he's just a piece of shit that has to like become a better person. Groundhog Day, Lost in Translation. There's a few other examples, but
I mean, from what I heard, he's kind of an asshole in real life, but
he probably is. He does seem like it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was like a severe alcoholic. I don't know if he's still, but like he did do 2 Garfield movies, so probably. But
yeah.
And he did do like 2 Zombieland movies for like 2 cameos, which were like some of the most funny part of those 2 movies, but like they were just so random. And
yeah,
the first one is really funny. I like his role in that one. The second one was kind of just like an after credits scene, but it was still like fine. And yeah, I forgot they did a whole like jokes about Garfield 3 and that, and like Al Roker was there for some reason.
I thought that was hilarious. That was my favorite part of Zombieland Double Tap.
That whole like end credit scene, because it was so disconnected from everything. It's kind of weird, but
yeah, that's what I liked about it, because the rest of the movie wasn't very good, and it was a really cool moment. And then also like I guess Bill Murray did all of like the stunts for that moment when like he's like killing like all the zombies like at the end.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't do that much. He just like throws a chair and like punches somebody.
I mean, he's for a guy that old, he's getting around there.
I mean, he still put on the fucking proton pack in Ghostbusters Afterlife for like 10 minutes. He looks so old. He's not.
Yeah. He's old now, man.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's still acting. He's actually going to be the villain in Ant-Man 3, apparently, one of the villains.
Yeah, I guess so. Which is a little weird that a 70-year-old Bill Murray is just gonna
do a Marvel movie. Then again, fucking Christian Bale's doing I don't know what's going on right now. But Christian Bale's gonna be in a Marvel movie, and Mahershala Ali is gonna be Blade, like an Oscar-winning actor that only does like highbrow stuff.
Yeah, it's really weird, all this stuff that's going on with it.
Yeah, but back to Groundhog Day. It's a important ground-breaking film to be remembered for days. I just go hog wild with this film, and it just, it does the bill well. It murrays me up.
Yeah, murray.
Murray. Also, like, it destroys clocks for like the majority of the film, and that like is always funny. But yeah, you can really feel like the terror in the situation, but it's still like extremely comedic. It really rides that line really well. It's similar to Ghostbusters, because that film has no plot at all, but like it rides the line of just like being built on these characters and the interactions, and like it just makes it like perfect. But like it really doesn't have a plot, and it doesn't really have character development. It's just like 4 guys make a company together to stop ghosts, and somehow it's just like one of like the most beloved films ever made. And then they made like Ghostbusters 2, and yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, Ghostbusters 2 happened. Yeah, Groundhog Day is pretty similar to to Ghostbusters in a lot of ways. Harold Ramis, he had a style for sure, and you can see it resonate through a lot of his films. Like Stripes is another good example of just like Bill Murray and Harold Ramis stuff, random comedy going on. But Groundhog Day is probably my personal favorite because of the way it really rides the line of like some serious things, and it has a lot of. It really does have some profound undertones about like what's happening emotionally, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, it really tackles like the meaning of life and like cherishing every day you have on Earth to like the fullest, in a pretty well way, while like not being too pretentious and like having fun with the concept too.
Right. Yeah.
Which a lot of films tried to capture in like multiple ways. I mean, I guess Happy Death Day is the most successful imitation of that, which I can enjoy that first one, but like it's not as good as this movie. But yeah, I remember there was a lot of films that were kind of like this, where like they did a concept and like tried to like emulate this film. Remember that one time travel movie? Remember that one time travel movie from like 2015 was like Project Almanac? I remember that.
Yeah.
The movie was really bad, but like the concept was kind of interesting, and it kind of explored themes like this.
I did kind of enjoy the time travel aspects of that movie, but I remember like it wasn't very good. I remember seeing that in the theater, being excited about it just because I like time travel stuff, and it was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I really like time travel stories, but like a lot of them are executed pretty terribly. And
typically, yes.
Like Back to the Future is like the best example of that. Like doing it well.
Back to the Future is a perfect time travel story. It's incredible.
Even though like Avengers Endgame makes fun of it, which was so weird, but it was fine. I remember like watching Endgame and I was like, why are they just like ripping into Back to the Future's logic for like no reason?
True.
Which I guess Endgame was a pretty good time travel story, I guess. But
yeah.
Like for the hour of like its 3-hour runtime, that it was a time travel story. But yeah, I don't think there's any way to make a movie like this again. This is like very much like a lightning in a bottle type film, similar to the original Ghostbusters and Year One. But
yeah, they've done there have been a few other films like Edge of Tomorrow, Source Code.
I haven't seen Edge of Tomorrow, but a lot of people like that movie. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it for a long time. I don't remember anything about it really. So
I remember the marketing was like terrible and like it failed at the box office. But like everybody that saw it like absolutely loves it. Like there's like been a sequel in development for the last like 8 years.
Yeah.
It's like Avatar 2 levels of like not happening.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Which Avatar 2 is set to come out in 10 months. I'm so hyped.
I mean, I guess I'm excited just because like they've been building it up for so long. Maybe that was the ploy. They've just been building up for so long.
If that movie's
really don't care.
If that movie's bad, oh my god. James Cameron.
I don't expect it not to be. So we'll have to wait.
James Cameron literally spent 10 years of his life, and like he gets like a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. God. He could do so much more with like the remaining years of his life than Avatar 2, 3, 4, 5 spin-offs, video games, toy lines, merchandise.
It's all Avatar?
We are Avatar.
Speaking of which, Avatar is the highest grossing film of all time, and I still don't think it should be.
I really shouldn't. I saw a guy rank like the top 10 highest grossing films of all time, and he's like, okay, the worst one of the worst is obviously Lion King. This is not a movie. It's terrible. Yeah. It's literally a complete and utter insult to the original film. Next film. And then he was like, Furious 7. This is fine. It's one of the last good Fast and Furious movies, but like it's whatever. Jurassic World. It's all right. It's not that good though. Star Wars. And then he's like number 1. He's like number 2 is Infinity War because it's just so amazing. Number 1's No Way Home just because it's my favorite Spider-Man film. It's the best Spider-Man story ever made. Even though I think Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man 2 are still better films overall.
Yeah. I definitely 100% agree with that. I recently rewatched Spider-Man 2. Incredible.
That movie's so good.
It's so good. I forgot how good it really was, but it is fantastic.
So was the first Spider-Man. It's just that one's a little dated.
Yeah. Which they're both a bit dated, but you can see it a lot more in the first one. Like just like that 2 year gap and like the being able, like the higher budget on the second one, you can definitely see.
Wait, are you like watching with Trinity? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, we're gonna watch Spider-Man 3 soon, and then obviously the Mark Webb ones. So.
Let's go, dude. Are you gonna write a Spider-Man 3 review?
We'll see. I might.
Yeah. Oh wait, are you guys watch like the Holland movies as well?
Yeah, we're gonna watch through all the Spider-Man movies, including Spider-Verse, which I'm the most excited about, obviously.
For sure. I mean, I don't know, is there much more to talk about Groundhog Day? Like, I don't know what I would rate it. I haven't seen it in a while, but like, it's probably like, it's definitely like an 8 or a 9, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I give it an 8 out of 10, and that might even be a little harsh because I really do think of what they were trying to do. They completely succeeded.
Because like I wouldn't say it's like a 10 because it's not like the best film. Like it's not like the best thing I've ever seen, but it's like it's not really trying to be. It's just like it has a concept and it's just like it did it like the best it could have done. So
yeah, it delivers really well. It's funny. It's heartfelt. It's profound. I really enjoy it. It's definitely it's one of my favorites. It really is. It's probably my favorite Bill Murray film. Probably it's my favorite performance by him.
Oh yeah, speaking of Murray, did you hear that Joker 2 is apparently going into production this summer?
Yeah, well, I heard
next summer.
They're planning to start either production or filming in 2023. I don't remember which one, but I did hear about that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I hope Murray comes back.
Murray.
I wasn't really excited for that movie at all, but like I kind of liked Willem Dafoe's idea, and it seems kind of weird that he like specifically mentioned Joker 2 in an interview, right? I'm like, so I think that might be what the movie is.
I mean, I guess I'd be fine with it if it's executed well. I mean, Willem Dafoe's a good actor, so.
Peta. Now, speaking of film that is 10 out of 10, Monster House, classic, flawless cinema.
Yeah, Matthew wanted to talk about Monster House.
Because we had nothing else to talk about.
I chose Groundhog Day. He chose Monster House because it's also on topic for this week. So, 2006, I believe, animated film.
I think this is ingrained in like every single member of our generation. I think
probably.
Pretty much
it was a big part of my childhood.
Yeah, this is like this was like a lot of children's like introduction to like horror, I think. For me, it was like this, like the first Ghostbusters, because that movie like wasn't like a horror movie, but like it had like some pretty strong horror elements for a kid. Especially like that like fridge scene shit. But this movie's perfect, flawless, scared the shit out of me as a kid. The Monster House design is incredible. The ending climax is one of like it's just like such a memorable and unique climax, and yeah, I mean like the animation for the time was pretty good. It doesn't look that good now, like human wise. But like I love the story. I love the inventiveness. I love that it embraces like the scary kid movie concept. It has some decent comedy. Yeah, very watchable as well. It's like a brisk hour and a half. Yeah, this movie's like, for what it is, it's very solid.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen Monster House for a while, but it was a big part of my childhood. It was a movie that I had seen. I actually watched quite a bit. I know I was a really big fan of it, and I watched it a lot.
I used to be like so scared I had to like watch it like with one of my parents or like with the lights on, just because like even like the main title sequence of like the DVD like scared me because like it was like the house breathing, and like if you hit any like button it would do like a little fucking jump scare. It was fucking freaking me out.
I actually remember that. I also
was
Yeah,
freaked
I
out
had
by it
that.
because the house would breathe, and like if you hit like any button, like the house would open up and do something. It just freaked me out. It was so
Yeah,
like eerie, and I was like, I'm not even watching the fucking movie, and I'm freaking out. And like the ending scene, like where the house rebuilds itself, like the thing it turns into, that literally like was like nightmare fuel for me as a kid, and like it terrified me for like a few years until like I turned like 8. But yeah.
yeah. Genuinely, there is a lot that actually really works pretty well as like effective like children's horror, I would say.
It's also a completely like original idea, like it's, which is like always nice to see for like a kids film. That isn't like really dumb. So
Yeah, it's a pretty good concept, and I do enjoy it. I think they did pretty well with it.
and
It's got like an interesting cast. Like I didn't realize when I was younger, but like quite a bit of like people you wouldn't expect to like be in this movie, like devoted voices to it.
yeah, because Kevin James and Chris Rock are like the two cops, which I guess now this is like Chris Rock was actually a cop before the famous film Spiral from the Book of Saw, which is a classic ninth installment in a franchise.
What an impactful revelation.
What?
What an impactful revelation.
Has Chris Rock played cops before Spiral?
And Monster House.
That's like a coincidence, but it's a very weird coincidence. Because like it's about the same acting caliber in both films, and there's like a good like, how much of an age gap? Like 15-year age gap. So.
I mean, he was in Beverly Hills Cop 2.
I thought that was Eddie Murphy that played that guy. Wait.
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
What, did they recast him?
I know that Chris Rock was in it. I haven't seen that in a long time, so I'm not sure.
I haven't seen any of those. I remember they were like talking about making a fourth one for like 8 years, and like they just haven't done it.
Yeah, that's true.
Which they probably shouldn't, but that's fine. Paul Blart 3 is happening, so we're good.
Please no, first thing.
We're figuring out the story, as Kevin James is quoted.
Sam Lerner plays Chowder. I remember because I've seen him in a lot of things.
Chowder is iconic, but he's like a little like, as I watch as an adult, he's fucking annoying and stupid. I like this. I do like the one scene where like he steals drugs from his dad's like pharmacy, and he's literally just like doing illegal shit, and he's just wearing a fucking cape, like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's fat and he's obese, and like he doesn't know how to talk to girls, and like that's your piss bottle, not my piss bottle.
Yeah, and Steve Buscemi is also in it.
Yeah.
And, like he plays Nevercracker,
Which is probably the best character in this movie.
Yeah, I'd say he's the best character because he actually.
Because he freaked me out as a kid, but like when I watched him as an adult, like his story is actually like really fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah, when I watched it when I was younger, he freaked me out because like the character himself was like really freaky, and then like he had like a great character arc later on, and then I rewatched it as an adult, and like when he's animated, oh my god, like the way he's bugging around, it terrified me. Again, shit of it, it's crazy, but I kind of love it. It kind of adds to the appeal, I think.
And like just like the storyline with his wife was like it was well implemented, and it was like honestly like when I was a kid and like even now it was like a pretty well executed. I don't know if it's a twist, but like a surprise when like he showed back up at the end, because I just kind of assumed he wasn't in the movie anymore. Like he comes in at the finale and like he has the best like emotional beats really. I like the main kid. I forgot what his name is. I don't remember, but like he's like a.
You mean Douglas?
I don't remember. I'm gonna look it up because it's gonna annoy me. I feel like it was a D.
I think Douglas. DJ.
DJ.
Yeah.
I like the DJ. I even like Jenny. I mean, she was fun. I like the 3 kids. They were like fun and entertaining. Like nothing like that.
Maggie Gyllenhaal was also in this movie, and I'm pretty sure it's because of this film that like she was able to secure the role in The Dark Knight 2 years later.
Like actually?
No, that wouldn't make
Okay.
any sense.
I don't know. I don't know. Maggie Gyllenhaal. What? She was the girl that got recast, right?
Yeah.
Was she the recast or was she the original actor?
She was in The Dark Knight, and
So she was the recast. Okay. Because like the Batman Begins actress was like she was actually terrible, but
yeah,
she was really bad. Much better in The Dark Knight, and then they just like kill her off. Spoilers.
Also, Napoleon Dynamite was in the movie too. John Heater.
Yeah, but she was also in Tremors 7. So yeah.
There's just surprisingly like vast cast. When I was younger, I always thought that this movie was like I always thought it was just like a Cartoon Network like TV movie. I didn't realize that it was like a.
Yeah, it was like released in like theaters, and I don't know if it was a hit, but like it was well talked about. I think because I think it has a good score.
Yeah, I think overall it's pretty well received, and I do really enjoy it. I do think it has like some flaws, like the overall. I don't remember that much of it, to be honest, so I can't even point out many flaws. But the animation is dated now.
I would say I like the plot and everything, but I remember there was like the kid had a babysitter and like his boyfriend character. I forgot who voiced him, but he sounds so familiar. I need to like look. His name was like Z or something. Who played him?
I do remember what you're talking about, though. Honestly, outside of Nevercracker, his story, it always seemed kind of like, when I rewatched it seemed a little bit forced, but I was like, okay, I mean, this is the best arc in the movie, and it's a little clunky, but it's like fine. And outside of that, like all the characters were either just like kind of annoying, or they were too gimmicky for me to really get attached to.
No, the girlfriend's boyfriend was Bones. His name was Bones. That was like a joke in the movie. Jason Lee, I don't know. His voice sounds so familiar.
I was gonna say I thought that was Jason Lee. I was actually gonna say that.
What has Jason Lee done?
Jason Lee?
Yeah, what has he done?
He was in the View Askew universe a lot. He was in all those Kevin James films. He was in he's Dave and Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, he was Dave and Alvin and the Chipmunks? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Why was he in 4 of those? Those movies, those first 3 Chipmunk movies are like forever ingrained in my memory.
Yeah, the first 2 for me for sure. I always hated like the Chipwrecks after the first time I saw it. So,
the Squeakquel, like even just like the trail of that movie is just like ingrained in my brain, and I'll never be able to get it out.
He's also the My Name Is Earl guy. I know that was a pretty popular show. So.
Yeah, I remember that character. Well, back to the Bones. I remember for flaws of the movie, that character was like just kind of pointless, and like he just like dies. But also, one part I don't like about this movie is like it's like pretty dark for a kids movie, but then like in the credits scene, they just like reveal that like all the people that supposedly died in the movie are like alive and they're just fine.
Yeah, I remember that being like, oh well, then what was actually scary about any of this?
Yeah, I was like, well, that's kind of like, well, first off, what were they doing that whole time the kids were in there? But
yeah, I don't know why, but there's like that one joke when the girl will be like, oh, that must be the uvula, and then Chad was like, oh, so it's a girl house. That joke was so engraved in my head.
Yeah, it was too. I remember it kind of being funny when I was a kid, and I didn't even know what a uvula was, but
yeah, and they're like, so it's a girl house. I was like, what?
And he's like, and she's like, yeah, it makes you like not like choke and throw up. It makes you like throw up, and he's like, I don't gag. And I was like, oh, so you're telling me you can take a 10-inch schlong, my man?
Well, I don't know why you took it that direction.
I'm just kidding. I was also 10. There was also that I'll forever be ingrained when like the basketball like hit his nose, Chowder's nose, and he's like, oh, it's broken, and then like he gets like the ball stuck on a netless rim.
Yeah.
And I was like, how the fuck? Also, the dog getting snatched. That like scared the shit out of me. But then like yet again, and then credits, they just reveal the dog's fine. Yeah, that carpet tongue was fucking terrifying. And like the trees, when like they grabbed the cop car, that like terrified the shit out of me. And like the house, when like it would smile and like open its mouth, it was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, the house was really scary.
The house design was very inventive and well done. I don't know how it controlled trees though.
Yeah, I don't know. All that stuff's kind of weird.
I don't know how a girl dying in like a house was built over her corpse necessarily made her possess the house. But then again, it's like a supernatural kids movie. I'm not gonna like judge it for that. I mean, it's like I could be like, why is there a poltergeist in the Poltergeist movie? What's the logic behind a poltergeist? But um, it's just kind of how you kind of accept the concept. And
Yep.
again, like when like the house rebuilt itself at the end, it was fucking terrifying. Um, and they do have some good rules where it's like, oh, you got to take out the chimney or whatever to take out the house. It is a little ridiculous. I always thought it was ridiculous. I don't know if you ever noticed this, but like in the ending when like the house is like literally tearing apart a neighborhood and like destroying a construction zone and literally blows up, like it looks like a few city blocks, and it's Halloween night, and there is nobody around. Um, there was literally zero people that witnessed this event, and there's nobody on the streets. When like the whole final act is because they can't let anybody trick or treat at the house, but there are no trick or treaters in the final act at all.
Yeah, I remember thinking that was really ridiculous. Like, I don't like what.
That's like the one genuine like critique I can give. It also makes no sense because it's like, you know, even if people did saw it, it's not like it would change the plot of the movie. So why did you deliberately not have anybody there? If anything, it would have made the final act more scary, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, you're gay and your mom's gay. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Trinity snapped me, so I was just wanting to call you gay.
Oh, cool. That makes sense.
Yeah, this film's an easy 10 out of 10. It's like, if Scorsese saw this film, he would call it cinema.
Well, yeah, it's literally cinema. It's literally a movie. Like, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I never got about his comments when he's like, superhero movies are not cinema, and it's like, well, they are, but besides that, you fucking snob.
I mean, yeah, it's decent.
As like a childhood film, it's like an easy like I love this movie, but like as a film, it's fine.
Yeah, I'd say overall, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10. It has enjoyable factors like to kids, I would say, and it probably would leave like a lasting impact.
I think overall, I will definitely show this movie to my kids.
Yeah.
For
overall,
sure.
It's nothing really exceptional. I don't think anything about it is like perfect or like done.
I would say the concept is like very inventive, but like
I'd say it's pretty well done. Yeah.
And just like the image of the house is like terrifying. It's a very kind of Stranger Things plot. The more I think about it, these kids are like investigating this thing that parents don't believe, and havoc ensues, and it's like kind of scary, but it's like for kids. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's like some like weird like action moments like later on with like I remember like the freaking
the water guns. Like the water guns were kind of okay. Oh, I remember a lot of Chowder's like jokes were just. There was actually a really funny joke I didn't know as a kid because did you know that like there was like a scene where like DJ calls Chowder and he's like, "Where's your parents?" And he's like, "My dad's working at the pharmacy and my mom's hanging out with her personal trainer." And like I never realized as a kid, but like Chowder just said that his mom's cheating on her dad, his dad. I never realized that joke, but it's fucking hilarious as a kid. He's just like, yeah, my dad's working. My mom's just like chilling with her personal trainer at night. And
yeah,
there's some.
I do remember that, but it never like really clicked. Obviously, when I was a kid, so.
Yeah, which explains, and also like Chowder's random crane operation was kind of weird, and the whole like. This random kid DJ is going to jump on a crane and swing dynamite back and forth over like a construction zone several hundred feet in the air and precisely throw a piece of dynamite into a small hole.
Yeah, that was
and like the girl kisses him and he's like, oh, now I can absolutely 100% do this. I am no longer scared of heights. Height fear cured.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean those moments. I mean they were kind of cool, but overall they were a little.
As a kid, it's like it makes sense, but like as like an adult, it's just kind of like a cliche.
I mean, plot convenience isn't like the worst sin a film could commit. Obviously, it's a movie; it's not supposed to be taken that seriously. So
I mean, it's a monster house, so like I can accept some dumb, fun, silly shit. There's also that guy from the video game that was like playing the game, and like he's like very memorable, but he's like. He just says like dumb shit. He's like, listen, you don't know what it's like to like play a video game with nothing like a diaper and like a gallon of chocolate milk. And I was like, what the fuck did you just write? What'd you just say?
It's so stupid. A lot of the dialogue is like overall really cringe when I revisit
Well,
it.
I think the director of this, he directed the Poltergeist remake. So.
Is that really the same guy?
I think so. At least he might have wrote the Poltergeist remake, which I know that remake is like considered one of like the most unneeded and terrible remakes. So.
Oh yeah, it's awful. Like it's really.
My parents were excited for that when they saw it, and I was like, "Are you really?" I mean, like it's just Poltergeist again, and they hated it, and I was like, "Well, yeah, I mean, the first one's like a masterpiece of like horror, I guess. I don't know if it's a masterpiece, but like it's just like really solid. So I don't know how you would top that."
Yeah, the original film is really good Toby Hooper film. Toby Hooper, Spielberg, all that stuff. Yeah, if you look, Gil Keenan is the director, and if you look at his list of films, he's technically got 5 films. One was a 10-minute short film from 2004, and then the other ones are Monster House, Poltergeist 2015, City of Ember from 2008, and then A Boy Called Christmas from last year.
I remember he was in talks to direct the FNAF movie like 5 years ago, and everybody was excited because he directed this, but then people saw that he directed Poltergeist, and people were like, oh.
Yeah, no.
I don't know why you would have directed that.
Yeah, the 2015 Poltergeist was.
We can just go on that fucking tirade about remakes because it's so stupid.
We could do a whole.
The new Texas Chainsaw looks so good. Oh my god.
No, it doesn't.
It was.
No, it doesn't.
The only line that was kind of funny in that trailer was like at the end, the guy's like, "Bro, if you do anything, you're canceled, bro," and then like he immediately murders everybody in the butt.
Yep.
But then like the rest of dude, that fucking like I know it's like the old girl's like the girl from the first movie, and she's just like 50 years ago. I've been waiting for this night, and I was like, oh my god, you literally took the Halloween 2018 script and put like 50 over 40.
Bruh.
This is terrible. Also, what is his mask? I thought it was supposed to look scary. It looks really weird. And he looks like he's 70 years old, and it's not. It doesn't look scary.
Yeah, I'm not very excited for the new Texas Chainsaw. I don't know why I would be.
I mean, hopefully it's watchable. I mean, maybe it's gonna be better than the last one. I mean, you liked the last one, right?
No, I didn't like the last one. What are you talking about? No.
You were a fan of Leatherface, weren't you?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, fine. Were you a fan of Texas Chainsaw 3D?
I really wasn't.
Okay, were you a fan of Texas Chainsaw, like the remake and its prequel?
No, I didn't like them.
A lot of people like the remake.
Yeah, it's really bad, but a lot of people do like that for some reason.
They're like, this is like an example of a good remake of like a horror movie.
Yeah, it's usually considered to be pretty good. It does have some genuinely, like, it has a couple actually good moments that you wouldn't expect from, like, weird horror remake schlock, but, like I remember the moment in the beginning of the film when, like the woman, like, they, like, try to rescue, and, like, she, like, they're going, like, back into the area, and she's like, you're all gonna die, and then she shoots herself, and, like, the shot is, like, going backwards of, like, the bullet going through her head. Like, that was a pretty good inventive shot than the rest of the movie had.
Yeah, I've seen like 2/3 of the original, and then my parents turned it off because they thought it was boring and it wasn't as scary as I remember, and I was like genuinely wanting to finish it. But besides that, from what I've seen of the original, it's like very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
the one scene that was ingrained in my memory is like when I think it's the dude. He's like in the house. He opens like the cellar door, and like Leatherface is there, and he like clubs his head or whatever, and like. He, like, goes limp, but, like, he's still twitching, like, he's still, like, alive, and then, like, he just, like, drags him into the room, and then, like, a girl sees it, and, like, she's running, and he just, like, this big, bulky guy, like, runs after her and, like, grabs her and, like, puts her on, like, a hook, and I was like, this is fucking terrifying, and parents were like, turn it off. But, yeah, that movie kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about with that. I definitely agree. Overall, Monster House is just it's a pretty fun kids horror movie. I think outside of like being like having a good concept and being like a scary like kids movie, like actually being good horror for kids that isn't too scary but would work for a child, it delivers on that both of those really well. But the rest of it is all subpar and not great I mean, which is not too much of a knock. I really enjoy it. It's really nostalgic overall. Probably like a 6 out of 10. Decent, enjoyable film.
Yeah, I mean, like, as a kid, I would have given this film like a 10 out of 10. But then again, at one point, like very early on, I used to like enjoy all the Jaws movies just because I love the first one. So like I loved all the other ones just out of um like association. But like over the years, I've like hated each of those sequels like less and less. So I mean, love them less and less. Um, Especially 3 and 4. Jaws 2, I'll give a pass, like a 4 out of 10. But yeah, this movie's very good. As like kids film, as an actual movie, it's fine. It's passable. I'm surprised they never talked about, because of how popular it got. I'm surprised they never talked about making another one, because they never did, and I'm very glad they didn't. But I'm kind of surprised they didn't. But yeah, I mean, I'd recommend this movie. I think you can still enjoy it as an adult. If you have kids, I definitely recommend it to just like scare them shitless for like a few years. And Steve Buscemi's in this movie, so it's automatically an A. I believe he was in Click as well, which is like an amazing seminal film. So yeah, he was also in Nine Lives, I believe. So it's another seminal film that he has under his belt. Nine Lives was awful. I didn't watch it, but like I saw reviews for it, and like I could tell it was really bad.
I didn't want to dignify you with a response to what you said, so.
Oh yeah, because I saw Chris Stuckman's review, and like the beginning of his review, which like it shows him like outside of his house burning the ticket that he had to go see that movie just so he could process his emotions, and he's like, "This movie was the worst film I've seen in probably a few years."
I mean, yeah, like, why is that, like, what you chose to talk about? Like, Steve Buscemi was in, like, Pulp Fiction and Reservoir
I haven't
Dogs.
seen Pulp Fiction.
The Big Lebowski?
I've seen like some of that.
Fargo?
I haven't seen that.
I just said 4 really, really, really good movies. Like, some of them are masterpieces. You haven't seen any of them?
No.
Cool. He was in Monsters Incorporated, even. That's a good movie.
Oh, he's in that? Oh yeah, he's in that. That's a very good. Wait, isn't he the villain in that?
Yeah, he's Randall.
And like Randall was at Monsters University for like 5 minutes.
He's in The Death of Stalin.
He killed Stalin?
He was in The Death of Stalin.
He was into the death of Stalin? I think everybody was into that, bro.
2017, The Death of Stalin.
He didn't die in 2017, dude.
It's a movie.
Honestly, I'm just excited for The Boys Season 3.
Hotel Transylvania franchise.
Oh yeah, we could talk about that, but I've only seen the first one and I think the second one. I never bothered with the third, and I definitely didn't bother with the new one.
Well, Steve Buscemi's in it.
All 4?
Yep.
This guy makes bad career choices. Wasn't he also... He was in the Grown-Ups movies, wasn't he?
Yes.
He was terrible in that.
He was in G-Force.
Wait. That movie's good. I'm just kidding. It's terrible. For some reason, like, some parts of that movie are, like, ingrained in my memory. I remember the mole was the bad guy.
Yeah, the mole was, like, revealed to be the bad guy.
And I was like, why is this treating it like it's, like, an Empire Strikes Back moment? It's a fucking mole.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi was, like, the hamster because they were all guinea pigs, but there was, like, one hamster that they met, and he's like, dude.
So that movie was terrible. I mean, it was kind of like a funny kids concept, but, like, it wasn't good at all. But, were they all gerbils? Is that why it was called G-Force? I think so.
They're all like guinea pigs.
And guinea pigs, yeah.
He was in Igor.
Wasn't he in Ice Age?
I believe so.
Which I've seen a lot of Ice Age videos pop up recently because that new one came out on Disney Plus and it's like awful.
I think I'm having a breakdown, so I'm remembering a lot of Steve Buscemi performances. He was in freaking Transformers The Last Night. I know that one.
Oh fuck yeah, he was. Oh my god, I hate that movie. I hate that movie. I hate that movie. I hate that movie. I hate that movie so much. It literally was more of a downgrade from like the last 3 of them, and the last 3 of them were like progressively.
I didn't think after Age of Extinction it could get much worse because Age of Extinction was awful, and then somehow The Last Night was worse somehow.
I saw The Last Night in theaters. I'm like remembering that. Oh my god.
Well, What's wrong with you?
I saw it with Jordan.
Steve Buscemi was in Escape from L.A. He was also in Con Air and a lot of Adam Sandler movies. Like, a lot of Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, because they're friends, I think. Yeah.
He was also part of the trio in Airheads with Brendan Fraser and who was the other one? Was that Adam Sandler? I think it was also Adam Sandler.
Wasn't Steve Buscemi in the Smurfs movies? I think he was one of the Smurfs.
I think you're right.
Oh my god.
He was in the Charlotte's Web remake, the live action.
I remember that movie. I don't know why I ever watched it as a kid because it was really boring.
He's in so many movies. Oh my god.
Are you like looking through his list?
I just went on the Letterboxd to see all of his credits, and the first one's Pulp Fiction, obviously, because it's by popularity. Oh my god, Big Fish, The King of Staten Island, The Dead Don't Die, Ghost World, Barton Fink, that's a good movie. Armageddon, Hubie Halloween, Miller's Crossing, Dead Man, The Boss Baby.
Has he been in anything good in the last like 10 years? Your silence speaks volumes right now.
He was in Hotel Transylvania, Transformania.
Yeah, you liked that movie, didn't you?
No. He's in the
What's your personal ranking of the 4 Hotel Transylvania films?
Okay, number 4 is number 3, number 3 is number 4, number 2 is number 2, and number 1 is number 1.
Wait, so what's so bad about the third one? Because I haven't seen it.
The third one is literally just a terrible kid. Like, everything about it's bad. It's just a stupid, like, kids movie, and it's completely cliche, generic, and doesn't try anything. It's awful.
Alright, here's my ranking of the Ice Age films. Number 1 is number 1, number 2 is number 2, number 3 is number 3, number 4 is number 4, number 5 is number 5. I haven't seen the 6th one because I refuse to watch it. Yep. Dude, I loved Ice Age as a kid. I haven't watched those movies in years. I kind of want to rewatch them, but I feel like I won't like them if I ever watch them, so... Except Collision Course. I absolutely hated that one. So I remember I was like, what?
Isn't it like the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild? That's like the new one.
Yeah, and it's like terrible.
It's all the reviews I see on Letterboxd are half stars. Oh my god.
Yeah, because like it's nothing that even... It's like nothing anybody wanted. It's like the new Don't Be Kid and like the new fucking... it's all this like straight to Disney Plus stuff that's like awful. What's that other recent film that came out that everybody hated? That was like an adaptation of something people actually liked. Well, did you hear they're making like another Percy Jackson series?
Yeah, they're gonna do a series now.
Which I guess is like better, but like the 2 movies were awful. So, yeah. The only part about the Percy Jackson movies I remember like semi-enjoying was like that scene with Medusa. It was like kind of suspenseful when I first saw it. Otherwise, that movie was like pretty bad.
Truth.
I'm just fucking hyped for Uncharted, bro. Because like when I was at my lunch room with my roommate, and we saw an Uncharted trailer play, and we just were unanimously talking about how terrible it looked and how bad it was going to be.
That's hype, bro. Because I don't think it's gonna be very good.
Maybe it won't be terrible. Maybe the action will be okay, but like it looks so bad. Tom Holland hit like a really high right now with No Way Home, and now he's like making Uncharted, and like now I'm remembering why like before like No Way Home, I didn't love him as an actor. So yeah. But,
absolutely, man.
Yeah, like Alex says, like Tom Holland's like the best Spider-Man, like which is obviously wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, no. Rewatching the first 2 Spider-Man films, no matter how Spider-Man 3 turns out, like on rewatch, Tobey Maguire's got to be my pick for the best one. Like he's just, I think he did. I just think he did consistently really good throughout those movies.
Yeah, I would say even though like I'm a fan of Spider-Man 3, it's definitely like a downgrade performance-wise, but he still does good as the role. Even in No Way Home, where he had a bit more of like a laid back and subdued performance, it was so heartfelt and personal, and I loved it. Have you seen that interview with the three Spider-Man that came up, like their first interview together?
Yeah, I did.
It was so good. I loved it.
It was amazing, honestly.
Especially when Toby was talking about. Just it's so nice to hear Toby talk about Spider-Man again, and he looked like he was really enjoying it. So, and it was like funny hearing how they did their first scenes together and stuff. It was really funny when they're like, when we did like our scenes together, we thought like we were messing up and do it wrong, and the director was like, "That was perfect. I love it. It's going in the final cut. We're good for the day."
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but me and Ellis, we're gonna get our first film. We're gonna start filming this summer. We'll get it financed, and it'll be released by beginning of next year, Q1. It's a small indie film. We're just working out the rights issue right now. It's Godzilla vs. Gamera. We're getting the rights settled.
Small indie film.
Should have it figured out by the end of the month. I think we got the studios to talk it out. So.
Yeah, and I would say probably look out for probably a 2037 release, because it's not going to be worked out by the end of the month. I don't know what he's talking about.
We have a script. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, we have a script, but that we need a lot more than just that.
Okay, fine. We'll just make some small indie films, and then we'll be given like a $500 million budget, and we'll just like do it like a fucking pog.
You know, Matthew, I feel like your expectations are a little unrealistic.
Fine, I'll set them a little more realistic. We'll direct a small Marvel project. It's nothing big. It's just Avengers 5. And then we'll do a few more indie projects. And then we'll do Monster House 2. Followed by a new Halloween trilogy that ignores all but the first, third, and fifth film. And...
I can't wait for the new Hellraiser film that is just specifically the first film, Hellraiser Deader, and Hellraiser Revelations, and then how it's just Hellraiser Deadest, okay?
Dentist.
It's the fourth film in this timeline, ignoring all the other films.
Imagine after Halloween ends, they do another Halloween timeline where it's like, follows the first and second film again.
Bro, imagine.
I feel like that'll happen. I saw somebody who was like, they should do like a Thorn continuation after the sixth one. And I was like, no. How are we going to get Paul Rudd back? Also, that would make no money.
No.
Also, the ending of Curse of Michael Myers. Quick tangent about movie endings. If you're going to have an ambiguous movie ending, at least make sense. Halloween 6 is one of the worst horror movie endings I think I've ever seen. It's terrible no matter which cut you watch, because it just ends in like the best actor of the franchise in his literal dying role scream into like the heavens, and you just like show a shot of Michael Myers' mask, and that's the end of your timeline. Are you fucking serious?
It's terrible.
And then like it ends on a pumpkin, like it's a big poetic note, like no, fuck you, go fuck yourself. Paul Rudd was in this.
Yeah, it's incredibly bad.
Yeah, and it's just like I really want Elsa's cock, and like he just won't give it to me, and like this isn't like a satisfactory conclusion to the storyline that I was expecting. So, anyways, Ice Age Continental Drift could have been much better. I had a very good idea, but just the script wasn't there. I'm personally rewriting my own scripts.
Okay, we're all over the place now. Groundhog Day is a classic.
Why are you going back to that? We were talking about Monster House, you fucking dummy.
Well, no, we weren't. We were talking about a lot of other things.
Dude, this one time, Chick-fil-A.
8 out of 10.
Chick-fil-A. If they made like
a solid 6 out of 10. It's definitely a good kids movie. I think they're both worth checking out.
Yeah, we talked about two movies we actually enjoy this week. So next week we're gonna talk about a movie we both absolutely hate, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is a lie. But
yeah, we'll be talking about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre next week, and then probably another random film, because I think that's probably going to be the trend. We just talk about a random film every week. So, yeah.
Well, I think what we'll talk about next week, we'll talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Open Water 3, A Cage Dive.
No.
Which, fun fact, for some reason, at the beginning of the year, in like 2017, if you go back in my Instagram history, I decided I would start reviewing movies like every week. And it only lasted for one movie, and it was for Open Water 3 Cage Dive. So if you want to see my review for that, scroll through my Instagram and you will find an Open Water 3 Cage Dive review.
I honestly am fascinated now. I might have to go look for it.
It's very bad. I give the movie a lot more credit than I should have. That movie's terrible. But I own it on Blu-ray, so there we go.
But yeah, so do you have any closing thoughts on, the topic Groundhog Day or Monster House before we wrap up?
Two very good concepts, very unique, very well executed, and I enjoy a lot. And I definitely recommend both. And The Smurfs 2 was one of the biggest failures I've seen in theaters, right next to like Paul Blart 2. And
wait, what did you say?
I said The Smurfs 2 is like one of the most abysmal pieces of cinema I've seen in theaters. And
you saw that in theaters?
I did as like a kid, but
why?
I don't know. The Smurfs was like a very celebrated film in my elementary school for some reason. Like people like they played it once and like everybody was super excited to watch it. Like the first Smurfs was like for some reason like very muchly enjoyed by children. I don't know why.
I remember the McDonald's toys, like when the Smurfs came out.
I remember. I really loved the How to Train Your Dragon toys. I loved those. I wanted every single one. But I kept getting fucking Toothless over and over again, and I wanted a fucking different one.
I remember the freaking when the Smurfs was around, I kept wanting to get all the different Smurfs, and then there was the one, like the vanity one that always like was like looking at himself in the mirror like he was so like sexy. I kept like getting that one over and over.
Wait, what? Sexy?
Yeah.
Smurf, my guy.
No, the one that considered himself sexy. The fucking.
I know you're into short people. But calm down.
Okay.
Let's just talk about it. Okay, next we're actually going to change topics. We're not talking about Texas Chainsaw. We're talking about specifically Ellis's kinks for an hour and a half. So, I'm going to give each kink out of 5 my personal orgasmic value. So,
your personal orgasmic value on my kinks, gotcha.
Yeah. It's like, Ellis, that's such a dumb kink. Why would you ever be into that, you fucking idiot weirdo? 2 out of 10. And it's just like women.
Fucking idiot, God, so dumb, unoriginal, 1 out of 10.
Gosh, at least be like different. I saw like a funny. We're just like talking now, but like it's still recording, and this is being all uploaded. But Ellis's kinks is now on the internet. But what was I gonna say? Fuck, I forgot. God damn it. Fuck. Wait, what are you looking at?
What am I looking at?
Yeah, like what are you doing?
I'm on Letterboxd.
Yeah, doing what?
But nothing. It was just on as we were discussing because we were talking. I brought up Steve Buscemi on there. So
Steve Buscemi's a G, bro.
No.
Is there any movie news right now?
I mean, not that I know of, really. Nothing big. I mean, all the big announcements that have happened have already kind of happened. There's not much.
I mean, the Book of Boba Fett. I'm not all caught up. I heard this newest episode was like actually like amazing, like Star Wars media. So, if we were both caught up to that, we probably would have talked about it. But we cannot. So.
I mean, I can watch it. How many episodes are there right now?
6.
I mean, I could make it happen.
I'm only on 4, and like I'll watch the other 2 eventually. And I think it's like a 7-episode show. So like I think next Wednesday is the last episode. So, yeah, I just heard the last 2 episodes, especially if you watched like the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, were like very good payoffs.
I think what I can try to do is probably try to watch it by the time we talk about the new Texas Chainsaw, because I'm not going to want to talk about that for very long. I can't really tell you that. So that'll give us more content.
Well, what if the new Texas Chainsaw is so terrible we just like ran about it for like an hour and a half?
I don't know. I don't think it'll be worth giving that much time. So we'll just have to wait and see.
What do you mean? She's like 50 years ago. I've been waiting for this night to see my old pal, Leatherface.
What if it's literally the whole movie that like evil dies tonight 50 years ago?
I would walk out of Netflix.
You would walk out of Netflix, huh?
I'm glad this isn't coming out in theaters because I don't want to see this in theaters.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay money for that. That's ridiculous.
And it's sad to say because it's like one of your favorite films, and like it's like a franchise, and like a new one's coming out, and you're like, I don't want to see that in theaters ever.
I mean, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay,
we'll talk
fine.
about it next week.
What if the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was in theaters right now? Would you go see it?
Yes.
Why?
What kind of question is that?
You've already seen it. Have you seen any classic films that like, you love, like in theaters, like re-released?
No, I've always wanted to though.
I've seen.
They re-released Back to the Future one time, and I didn't get to see it. Last year, on the 40-year anniversary, they re-released The Evil Dead, one of my favorites. Didn't get to see it.
I've seen 3.
You've seen 3?
Wait, no, I've seen 2. I've seen Jaws twice in a movie theater, and I've seen the original Terminator in theaters, and I believe
really?
I'm not for sure if I saw the original Alien theaters. I remember they were advertising it, and my parents said they were going to take us, but I don't think they took us, which kind of annoyed me. But like
That is annoying.
yeah, I've seen the
Oh wait, I've seen Star Wars: A New Hope.
Oh wait, I saw Jurassic Park in theaters when they had like that 3D re-release.
Yeah, that one I haven't seen. But the only one I have seen is Star Wars: A New Hope. I remember that one because there was like a massive showing it was in Minnesota, and it was like they were showing the original trilogy, and like people could like stay for as long as they wanted to, and then like, it was like a late night one of the late night things like at midnight, and we watched A New Hope, but then we left before Empire Strikes Back, and I was really sad. Yeah,
why'd you guys leave? It's like a trilogy event.
It wasn't my choice, but yeah.
Well, yeah, you're probably like 10 or something. You're just like, no, I'll drive myself, but I'll get a ride.
I'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, if it was like late at night, I probably went to like fucking 5 a.m. What are you talking about?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to see some more classic films in theaters because I enjoy it. I wanted to see Alien, but like, I didn't end up seeing it. I remember that was at Halloween last year, or when the 40th anniversary was, and I wanted to see that.
Yeah, which I guess was about to be 4 years ago now.
Fuck, but yeah, I remember my parents were talking about taking us to it, but then like seeing the original Halloween in theaters, but like they saw it was like at 10 o'clock or midnight because it was like a horror movie classic that they were replaying for like a one night only thing. My parents were like, oh, we don't want to go out that late to like see a movie we've already seen. And I was like, it's literally like one of my favorite films ever in theaters.
Please.
Yeah, but like I almost got to see Halloween in theaters, I guess. At the time, I didn't have any friends either that I don't think would like wanted to have seen it with me, so I didn't like ask anybody. If I knew you, I probably would have asked. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I could take Allie, and she'll actually pay attention at the beginning.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is character development right there.
Character development. My cock is on fleek.
Yes, sir.
Why'd you say yes, sir, to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How's your life been? Well, this is now a podcast where we're just talking about each other's lives.
We could probably just wrap up.
It's only been an hour and 8 minutes.
Okay, well, it looks like we're running out of things to talk about, so...
Okay, we'll go to an hour 10, okay? Deal?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. So,
If we do all the concluding stuff for 2 minutes, that would be an hour 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost an hour and 9. I could also be lying to you right now just so we can keep recording, but it is definitely an hour and 8 right now. Dude, it's fucking cold up here. I want you to know, I've been wearing that Jaws hoodie like at least like a few times a week. Like, I have no other hoodies.
Well, first thing, you're welcome. Second thing, why is it cold in Florida?
I don't know, bro. It's like, it was raining and windy today. It's like only in the 60s. Like last week, it was in the 40s one day. Like one time, like 2 weekends ago, it was like 38 out and like freezing rain. Global warming is not a joke. But yeah, I was like, it's 38 out here, dude. It's probably like negative 30 in Iowa right now.
It's cold here. I can tell you that for sure.
Dude, just come to Florida.
Don't really have the resources to do that. I also have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, just like work here, work at Publix. Okay. We got like 30 more seconds.
Pubic licks.
It's like when you lick pubic hair. But
well, thanks for listening, everybody. If
yeah,
you enjoyed the discussion,
we'll be back
sure
next week with like an in-depth horror discussion.
Yeah, I'm really excited for next week's discussion. We're talking about one of my favorite films of all time, so stay tuned for that. Leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and yeah, I hope you have a good night wherever you're at. Matthew.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you want to say in conclusion?
My mom's hanging out with a personal trainer. My dad's at work, so I'm not really doing anything at the moment.